Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Anna. Wonderful. So you're in.
Yeah, lovely. If it's okay, I'm going to put you on speaker because I've got my colleague Terry with me.
Yeah, I mean, does Terry want to call in? Does Terry want to call in separately?
It's just that we're sitting at one screen. We're not next to each other, right next to each other. So, if you don't mind broadcasting.
No, absolutely.
No,
Hi there,
okay.
Terry.
Just bear with me a second.
Thanks.
Hello.
Hello there. Hi. Hi, Terry.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing? All right.
Yeah, not bad, thank you.
Excellent. Good. Well, listen. Thanks for your time today. Obviously, just to run you through really how the system works. What I'm going to do is, if you don't mind, is I'll be recording this session so I can then send you a video of it, so that if you're not sure, if you forget any of the instructions, you can always watch it again, and that will kind of refresh your memory.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, but it shouldn't take too long. I mean, you have seen some of it before. I'm just going to give you an overview really of how you can post jobs, how people would apply, how you would be able to kind of screen and filter those applicants, how you would manage those candidates once they've come through onto the site. And essentially, you're able to play around with it afterwards. And it's a trial site, so it's you can put whatever you want on there. And I think it's probably a good idea just to kind of start using the system, start posting some sample jobs, and then if you want to go ahead and make it live, start getting some real applications, then obviously we can do that as well.
Right. Okay.
So can you see the screen there? The Multiyork site.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean obviously we've branded it in a very kind of quick way really, as it's a trial site. What we could do is, if you went for the proper full version, we could completely match the branding of your corporate site, which I think would work really well given how how the design is kind of laid out on your corporate site. But this is it's just got the very basic Multiyork colours, but this can all change, and the template can change as well. But it's just to give you an idea. So when somebody clicks onto the careers link on the multiyork.com site, they would come to this parallel site, which would be totally geared towards recruitment and applying for jobs, and also HR. You can use it to update news items about any kind of HR issue that you have within the company. And what works quite well is some clients put videos onto these sites which kind of give an idea of the kind of corporate culture, what it's like to work at Multiyork. It's about employer branding as well as just kind of the process of recruitment. All right?
Okay.
So just to give you an overview, so the kind of the main functionality on this homepage is you've got the quick search bar at the top there, so you can your candidates can search by location. What I've done is I've just put in kind of a few of the stores that you've got, the first in the list. So, Bath, Beverley, Bishop Stortford. So I would suspect that you would probably, you might have the locations based around the stores.
Yeah.
And then job industry. So you have a two-tiered job industry and job sub-industry system. So I've just put some sample ones in here, administration, management, sales, warehouse. You can really, really easily, as you'll see in a minute, you can manage this list. You can add new job sectors. The important thing is that the list will be in the job search on the front end here, as well as when candidates register, when you post jobs, in order to match people with jobs. That's what the system's doing for you, and that's obviously very important. So you've got that job search bar here, and then this will give you the vacancies list. So you can browse, you can drill down to location, job sector, date posted. You can search by keyword, and when you click onto the job description, you've got the full description, the candidate can share the job on their social networks, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. They can email to a friend. You could have a job kind of basket where people can, store the jobs that they like. Obviously, the call to action there is to apply for the job. They can also see similar jobs. So you want the people to be applying for all of the relevant jobs that they've got, really. So, for example, if you're sending your job out to read, you're paying for that person to come back onto the Multiyork site. You want to make sure that they're applying for all the relevant jobs that applies to them, really.
Okay.
So when you click on to apply, the candidate has an option. They can either, if they're already registered, they can log in, and that will automatically have their CV details, because every time somebody applies, they're registering on your site, essentially. So they have their own candidate zone where they can, they can fully register. So if I go in here, I'll just register, a sample username, sample email address. Yeah, I should be able to get that right. That's just to stop, obviously, automated registrations.
Right, okay.
What you can do is you can add screening questions, so you can obviously filter out candidates that perhaps aren't relevant. So do you have administration experience? Yes, I do. That will then take you through onto the open questions. So you don't have to have these screening questions, but it is an option for you to help you with the filtering process once you review your application. So here you've got a question here, an open question. Please let us know why you think you would suit this role. When you post a job, you can create these screening and open questions, which can be quite useful because the answers will be there in the candidate's profile. So, some people use that a lot. Some people don't ever use it, but it can be really quite useful. When we recruit, we do find that works well for us.
Yeah.
So obviously you'll be getting your applications from all over the web. So people who find the multiyork.com site, people who perhaps have seen you on Reed or Indeed or on a job search engine or perhaps on your social media channel, they're all going to be arriving onto your careers site where they can then, register themselves with you, and you're then, you can store their details on your database. So I'm just going to go through and put some kind of sample information here for this test account. So job preferences, this page is really important because this is where the candidate is going to profile their skills and their location and their interests, really. So, what type of job are they looking for? When are they available? What's their salary expectation? They can put desired job, desired salary in more detail. Job sector. We can manage these lists, but for now I've just got some sample ones in there. And then you can say, I'm based in Bishop Stortford. So once that's gone through, that person is in the database and can be searched based on, their skills, their location, and everything else. So does that all make sense to you so far?
Yes, yeah.
And once you've saved that at each stage, you can also get them to kind of build their own CV. So you've got employment history, you've got qualifications, you've got references as well. So depending on exactly how you want to have that application process, you can ask for more or less of the kind of information that you would need.
I'll just ask a little bit about the uploading CV process.
Yeah.
Does it have to be in a particular format to come through? Because obviously we do get quite a range.
It's up to you, really. I mean, we usually have, Word documents, PDF documents, open text files. It's really up to you. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
We can adapt it to what you need. There's always some customization that would happen. So you would say to us, look, we want in some industries, people have CVs that are kind of 6 or 7 megabytes big because perhaps they're graphic designers and stuff like that. But yeah, it would usually be Word documents and PDFs. Those would be the key ones.
Right.
So once you've applied, obviously the candidate knows that they've had their jobs being confirmed. Then they're taken through to their candidate zone. So this is the kind of homepage really for each candidate, and this can be styled a bit more to match your branding. But if there were recommended jobs, they'd be displayed on the left there. You can see the jobs that apply to this person's particular sector. They can update their CV, they can upload additional files, and they can actually track their application status of the jobs that they've already applied for. So the idea is that you're automatically engaging and you're getting the latest information from the candidates because the website will be proactively communicating with them. So they can, for example, if they wanted to, they could update their employment history and qualifications, references as well. And that obviously all helps you to kind of streamline the process of filtering candidates at each stage. So is that fairly clear from the kind of the candidate side?
Yeah.
So the good thing is with RecSite, it's totally integrated. So if you're a candidate, you log in as a candidate on the same place. If you're a recruiter, so we're going to log in as you, Anna.
Okay.
So username Anna P, password we've just put in RecSite. And obviously, once people apply, if you've posted the job, you would get the email notification. When you log into your consultant zone, you would have all of your candidates listed, all of the applications for your jobs. So each consultant within Multiyork can kind of manage their own jobs and their own vacancies, essentially. So you can see here, you've got 3 vacancies published. You've had 2 applications for those vacancies. Over time, those numbers are going to be much higher, and you can handle those applications in different ways. So with vacancies, you can go in, you can see, okay, well, these are the 3 jobs that Anna's posted. You can see this is a demo job. Okay, I've had 2 applications for this job. You can click on those applications, and then you see it specifically for this job. So there's two demo ones there. What you can do is you can email people in one go. That will automatically go from your email address, Anna. Any responses will come back into your inbox. You can reject each applicant from the job as well. But obviously, most importantly, you want to click into that applicant and see their CV, any of their past activity, and you can manage their application from within this page. Okay, so you can create these different application statuses, which you can then use to manage each application. You can see what jobs this candidate has applied for. You can make notes on this applicant. Those notes are searchable. So in the database you'll be able to find. So for example, if they had a specific skill, you could put it in there, and that would then be searchable in future. You can download their CV there. You can forward their CV on to a colleague. You can download additional files. If the candidate's not very good, you can archive them. That takes them off the system. And then also what's quite important is that you can also assign a candidate to another consultant within Multiyork. So if, for example, Terry was dealing with sales staff, then you would assign this candidate to Terry. The candidate would get an email, Terry would get an email, and then you'd be able to more easily collaborate and work together on the candidates themselves. So does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, and then the idea is that you've just got everything in one place. So all your candidates, all your applications, all your jobs, and it should save you lots of time, really. So the candidates menu here, this is everybody who's ever registered on Multiyork. So if we're talking a year down the line, hopefully you've got a few thousand or more quality applicants, quality candidates that are registered on your database. So you would then be able to filter down by location, by job sector, by skills, by type of job, salary level, when they have updated their CV and everything else. And then, it would show you all of those relevant candidates. So if there were, for example, there could be 200 here that matched what I was looking for, I can just select them, click email, send them out an email that's going to go from my email address, and all the replies will come through to me directly. So you should be able to very, very quickly solve, staffing issues once you've got a good database there. So you're communicating with your talent as well. In terms of posting the job, I just want to show you the kind of the marketing side of things. So when posting a job, we're just going to go in and edit one that's already been posted. You can go ahead and post your own jobs and register, sample candidates. But here, obviously, store manager Bath, job location. You can add new locations to the list here, which you might have a job and you didn't realise that there was another store or another location. You can easily add those yourself. Industries as well. And then the corresponding job positions you can add. So you're building up the structure of your site, the structure of your database. That's helping to profile your candidates and match them with jobs that you get in future. So all of this information is what's required for syndicating with job boards. So not only has it got all the information on the site, but it also lets us send the jobs out to other external sites. So once you've saved the job here, you can then go through, you can add screening questions here, which you saw on the front end. You can add open questions here as well. In terms of marketing the job, these aren't live, so ignore the error messages there. But basically, you would have all of the relevant external sites that you have listed here, and then you can just simply click post job, post job, post job. It will automatically update the job on those sites. And obviously, it can either redirect applications onto the website, or it can do those applications by email back to you directly, to the consultant who's posted the job initially. All right, so that's a kind of overview, really, of the way the system works. And does that make sense to you both?
It does. Mm-hmm.
Have you got any questions?
Yeah, just in terms of the job posting thing, we mentioned this briefly on the phone the other day, and explained we've got a contract with Reed at the moment, which is 6 months, so it's due to run till November. So in your email, you indicated how you would, that you can either use your account or our own if we've already got one set up. But for other sites, how would it work if we haven't got accounts set up?
Well, it depends. I mean, what we're providing is a gateway, a one-click posting, system to send the jobs out to the job boards that you work with. What we do is we've got a relationship with Total Jobs, with Reed, with CV Library, so that we can resell you job credits because we buy them in bulk. Now, that's job boards, so you would really have to either have an arrangement with us to purchase job credits through us, or with the job board directly. But in terms of job search engines, which are sites like Indeed, Job Rapido, Oodle, Trovit, we would automatically send the jobs out to those job search engines because they're free. So we send them to them directly, and they pick those jobs up instantly from the site. So that would be an important source of candidates that you would be getting as well. And some of our clients, for example, Indeed is the most popular application source. And actually, they don't even have to pay for that, and it's the most valuable source of applicants. So job search engines, you'll automatically get the jobs on there. Social media, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, obviously you'd be posting to your own accounts there. So the Multiyork Twitter account, the Multiyork Facebook, LinkedIn accounts. But job boards, you would have to either have an account with the job board, or we would have to, resell you job credits on those job boards.
Right. Okay. So I mentioned the scenario where you might have a specialist site that you use once in a blue moon, like an IT recruitment website.
Yeah.
You would have to set that up before being able, or could we do
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on the site, because we do have arrangements with the kind of the networks, and most of those niche sites are actually owned by wider job board networks. So the chances are that we can offer a kind of pay-as-you-go approach. So, for example, £25 to post a job to that site each time you want to, rather than the full rate card price, which is often £150 or something to post a job. But we'd have to know what that job board was, and we would have to connect it to the system.
But that could be done on an ad hoc basis.
But that could be done on an ad hoc basis. And also what you can do is, obviously, with the applicant tracking system, even if you, for example, if they gave you a couple of free job postings, you could always manually post onto that job board and put the URL of the job application page on the Multiyork careers site as the application method. So you're still using the applicant tracking system to collect all your applications in one place, even if you're not doing the one-click posting from within the site. But yes, we can connect the site with job boards on an ad hoc basis.
Right.
I mean, what just remind me again of the kind of the main job boards that you use. I know it's Reed that you've got an account with. What are the other kind of more niche sites that you would use?
I don't think whether we've had any. I mean, we've used retail websites in the past in addition to Reed. I think we've done sort of multi-posting options, haven't we? Total recruitment. We had an e-commerce one, but
okay.
For example, we've just recruited an IT one where where you might want to go on a graduate website or IT specialist, and it just it depends on the vacancy, because an IT vacancy is something that we might recruit for once every 5 years, whereas the retail, we know that we're going to be recruiting for those on a regular basis.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, I think the good thing with Recla is that you've got a dedicated e-recruitment account manager. So if you know that you've got a vacancy coming through, I mean, perhaps it's a graduate recruitment scheme. Once the economy, touch wood, picks up, you might be looking at a kind of graduate recruitment scheme. Then we would give you various options. We could say, well, look, we've got this. We've got this relationship with the graduate job board where we can offer you this many jobs at this price, or we might create a landing page specifically for that graduate recruitment campaign, or if it's just a one-off job, the job boards are constantly coming to us and saying, look, can you promote us to your clients, and therefore we can, we're able to offer good prices for kind of ad hoc job publishing onto those sites. So we want to be communicating with you at each stage to make sure that we've got the right network of job boards on there.
Right. Okay.
And obviously the good thing is once we've connected a job board, it's always on there. So you could always, even if you don't use it again for another year, you've got that network built.
Right.
And there's an advantage really over kind of multi-job board posting, which is that we match the categories of your site with the categories of the job board. So the job is going to be posted in a much more relevant way on the job board based on the categories that you've created on your recruitment site, and that means that it's going to be found by more relevant candidates, and you get a higher conversion rate from the traffic that comes through.
Right. Okay.
So that's the kind of that's the basic overview really. Obviously, the idea is that you should be getting traffic from a variety of sources, and what we would do is we would provide you with full kind of metrics to monitor how many applications have come from different traffic sources. So you'll be able to see at the end of every month. I mean, you'll have access to log in and view your dashboard of, in terms of the marketing metrics. So you could then see, okay, we've had 100 applications, 70 of those have come from Indeed, 15 from Reed, 5 from here, a few from there. And you actually can see for completed applications, which are the sources, which are the traffic sources that are performing best. Because if you're paying Reed £250 a month, and they're not really turning into completed, successful applicants, you might reevaluate where you're spending your marketing budget in the subsequent months. So that's set up in a way that's quite easy for you to digest and understand those metrics as well. But we would have that conversation with you regularly too.
Okay. So in terms of candidates who might have added themselves onto our database, if you like, if we were to use RecSite but then found it wasn't working after 6 months, what would happen to those candidate CVs?
Well, it's all really clear in the terms and conditions that we would send over. You own all of the content of your website. That includes data, content, and everything. So, for example, you can export all of your candidate data into like a CSV file with the CV files, referenced as well. So you can easily import into another system. So that all of that data belongs to you. And we would provide that all in a kind of an export of everything, including the jobs, including the people that have registered, the applications, everything else is provided to you, and that could be imported into another system.
Okay.
Go on.
No, it's up to you.
I was just going to say, obviously, usually what happens is when a site goes live. So if we build a career site for you, once it's live, you've probably got your own database of candidates or kind of contacts, within the industry. We can do a newsletter for you, branded as a career site or branded as a corporate site, and we say, look, we've just upgraded our careers site. Make sure that you've got your latest availability, your latest CV on the system, so that in future we can provide you any opportunities that arrive at Multiyork. That's quite a good way to kind of kickstart the site, if you like, but some people do that, some people don't.
Okay. Just in terms of the mechanism, maybe being a bit thick here, but people could go onto our website, click a careers section, and it would take them through to this site. Could they then go back to the main site, or have they lost the connection to the website? No.
They can go straight back. They can go straight back. I mean, essentially, it would be. What we quite often do is create a completely parallel site. So the menu options would actually be the same. So the candidate wouldn't even realise that they had left the multiyork.com site, and actually the domain name would still be multiyork.com/careers. So it's completely seamless integration.
Okay. And I mean, I had a quick look at the YouTube video that you posted.
Yeah.
A link to have a look. I mean, are there any other sites that we could have a look at? I mean, there was Social for Work or something, which was one I think when we first had our conversations you were using. Are there any others that we could have a look at?
Yeah, no. There's lots of other ones as well. What I can do is I can send you a list of some. So some of the recent ones are Gale's Bakeries, the Bread Factory, Alphabet Energy. I'll send you a list of the kind of employer sites and maybe some of the recruitment agency sites as well, because it's all the same system, but you'll get a feel for the different design options available.
Yeah, I think that would be useful just to have a look at it in case you can do a sort of sample site, but I think just trying to navigate somebody else's site that's already set up.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send you a list to all of them, and you'll see there are some similarities between the sites, because obviously what we're doing is we're providing you the system, which is a shared framework. So that's why it's obviously we can get the ball rolling quickly, because we're not developing it bespoke, we're integrating it with your site. So there's a lot that can be changed in terms of design and style and colours, so that they're totally distinct websites. But you will see there's some similarities in the layout of the jobs and things like that. But you'll understand that more once you look at some competitors, some client sites that we can that will kind of show you that in more detail.
Right. Okay. And there's the mention of this. It's either template site customised with our logo, which is free, or if we wanted to integrate it with the web design, you've got 1 day graphic design and 1 day programming. Would that normally cover what we needed to do, or would?
Yeah, I mean that just depends on what you're looking to do with the careers site. Now, you've got here a template site, which is, this is the type of thing that you would get, you'd get as a template option with a couple of hours customization. That's not going to look exactly like your corporate site, but some people don't mind that because it's a career site. They just want to they want the functionality. They want people to be able to apply for jobs and everything else. If you wanted it to exactly match the corporate site, then the setup cost would be a bit more. So there's a package for integrating with an existing corporate site, which is £1,500 for the design to match exactly the corporate site, because there's a fair amount of work to get that working in parallel seamlessly.
Right.
But there are options there really. I mean, some people might do 6 months with a template site, see how it goes, see how valuable the system is, and then they would upgrade to a kind of bespoke integration. Another option is some clients, we can spread the cost of that integration over the first 12 months if you sign a 12-month contract as well. So we're kind of flexible there really.
Right.
But you'll appreciate there's a fair amount of work to do to get that integrated, seamlessly with the corporate site.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's good. It gives us a bit of an overview. Is there anything that you can think of that we haven't?
I don't think so.
Any questions in your head?
When you post the job to something like Facebook, do you know how they appear? As in, and like things like Twitter, obviously, I don't know, in my head it's got a sentence that says we're recruiting and then a link back to the advert. Is that how it works?
Yeah, so on Twitter it will take the first 170 characters or whatever it is on Twitter, I forget exactly, and show the first of the title and description with then a link back onto the job page on the website.
Okay.
And then with Facebook, it comes through as a status update essentially on your corporate profile page.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
I mean, and that obviously works really, really well, but you have to have the social media channels obviously have to be developed. The more followers you have on Twitter, the more fans or friends you have on Facebook, the more of a response you're going to have. LinkedIn works really, really well because what you find is a lot of HR teams will be connecting with potential, employees on LinkedIn over time, and then if they can instantly update that group with a link to a new job, that should be a source of fresh applications with people who are already kind of qualified, really.
Right.
So it's really about having a mix of application sources that you can monitor, that you can keep improving on. We give you the data and the statistics to back that up, and so you can see, where you're saving money, where you're saving time, and you should be getting better and better quality applicants through your system, really.
Another question: with the posting to the free search engines, things like Indeed, does that also apply, or is it the same thing for free job sites like Job Centre? Are they included? Like actual job
Well, yeah. I mean, we work with Job Centre Plus. The key difference is, Terry, is that with job boards, it's more maintenance to keep that feed going, because the job boards change how they take the jobs. So there's a bit more maintenance that's required for us to do that. We can connect with pretty much every job board, including Job Centre Plus, in the different areas that you work with. But we need to build that into the package, really, so that we say, look, we're going to give you 5 job board feeds as an example, or 10 job board feeds, so that that's built into the package, because the job boards don't work in such a sophisticated way as job search engines.
Yeah.
They have to be maintained and they have to be checked more, every month, really.
Okay, thank you.
But equally, so it's about a network, really, that works well for you.
Okay. I think I have another question just about in terms of the admin users. Obviously, with Terry and myself, within the HR department, and we would handle some vacancies, usually the head office ones.
Yeah.
With the retail ones, we've had candidates' details go straight to the store manager of that particular store, so that they start reviewing CVs straight away. Would they have to have their admin users rather than all the CVs come to us and then we forward them on?
No, I mean, obviously the whole point with RecSite is that you have multiple admin users who are managing their own job vacancies, their own applications, and their own candidates. So what you want really ultimately is to have every store manager or every regional manager having their own login and password and posting their own jobs, getting their own applications back to them immediately, but also perhaps being able to search the shared candidate database as well to see if there's people on the system already that would apply to them. So yeah, the answer to your question is I think what you want to do is you want to get everybody who is recruiting within Multiyork anywhere to have a login and password.
Well, we've got 58 shops, something like that.
Yeah.
So,
well, look, I mean, as I said, I think from the package that we've kind of proposed to you, it's a bit like a kind of extended 6-month trial. Obviously, we've given you a discounted price for the first 6 months. It's a 6-month contract, so obviously, it's not a long contract. I'm sure that, I would be able to say to my directors here, look, let's give them as many admin users, consultant users as they want for the first 6 months, and at the end of that 6 months, obviously, if everyone's using it, then we'd have to review in terms of the usage what would be fair to pay as a monthly fee, because obviously the fee is based on the number of users that are on the system. So I'm kind of open to that, but I appreciate you would probably want to know in advance what that cost would likely be.
Yeah.
But obviously we want you to be making the biggest use of the system as possible. And the more admin users you've got, the more people managing their own recruitment that you have, the more powerful and the more effective the system is going to be. The more time you're going to save, the more money you're going to save, and the more easier recruitment would be for everybody, really.
Yeah, I mean, an ideal world would have 60 people, 60 admin users, because that would cover the stores, and our own logins and probably some district managers. But if you were to do that from the outset, I understand you've given us a discounted price, but just need to understand sort of ballpark figures of how that would affect the monthly.
I mean, I'll speak to my director here and come back with a kind of a figure for that. There probably would be two figures. There'd be one for the 6 months kind of extended trial, and then a kind of full, permanent figure thereafter.
Right.
Because obviously that's a bit more in terms of training and everything and management that we would need to do. But again, what we can do is we can have these webinars. I mean, you can have up to 250 people on each webinar. But what you'd probably do is just have it per region, perhaps with a regional manager and the store managers calling into ideally kind of 10 or 15, maybe 20 people on each training session. And obviously, that can be done quite efficiently and quite quickly.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll certainly get back to you today with a revised cost for that.
Lovely. The questions that I've got in my head at the moment might go
Okie dokie.
Come up with some others, but.
Well, what I'll do is I'll set Terry up with a username and password now, so she can have a play around with the system as well.
Okay.
And then I'll get back to you today with a revised costing. And any questions, just give me a shout. Obviously, you've got my direct number there. Would be good. Obviously, we'd love to go ahead and create something for you, which was completely integrated. Obviously, if you're going to go with 58, 60 people from the start, we can do more for you in terms of a complete integration. Bringing down that setup cost, because the monthly cost would be a bit more because of that volume of users. So that's something that I'll have a chat with today and see what we can do about.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, look, lovely to speak to you both. Thanks for your time, and I shall speak to you very soon, I hope.
Okay then. All right.
All right. Have a good day.
You too,
Cheers.
bye.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye. Bye.